Hey guys, welcome to week 3 of Tartan Tuesdays. From now on it's not just going to be Tartan Video, Tartan Asia Extreme. It's going to be all Asian horror movies, okay? Just because there's so many that I've seen that don't fall under the Tartan category, but I'm still calling it Tartan Tuesdays. It's just going to be for any Asian horror ever. So if you want to see something reviewed, let me know in the comments. I'll happily watch it, and if I've already seen it, I'll just review it straight away. So yes, let's crack on with this particular review of Battle Royale. This is an absolute classic in the world of Asian horror. If you're already into Asian horror or you want to be into it, you need to see this because it's like a staple piece of the genre. This came out in 2000. It was based on a novel that was made in 1999, the same name. And I can't sing this film's praises enough. Like, I have literally nothing to slag off about this movie. So if you wanted to hear a rant about it, you can go away because it's not going to happen. Okay, so the general plot of Battle Royale is that every year there is an event called Battle Royale, of course, and it basically takes a delinquent or sort of disrespectful class from any school across the country, and they put them on a mountain and they give them a duffel bag full of food, water, a map, and a weapon of random choice. It might be a really shit weapon or it might be a really good weapon. The general plot movie is that they have to kill each other off until there is one left. That one kid will get to go back into the world, you know, they get to survive, they get to go and be a good upstanding member of society, and it basically shows that, you know, they're trying to cull the delinquency of Japan. You know, it's one of those, they think that it's a win-win situation, you know, we get to get rid of a load of shitty, disrespectful kids. You know, it saves a lot of money. It's just stupid in, you know, the real world, but it's a scary concept because holy shit, what if that actually happened? They could do this, you know, they could do this. We basically follow Nanahara Shuya, and who was in Death Note. If any of you recognised him from somewhere, couldn't place it, he is the lead in Death Note. Oh yeah, love him. And Noriko, who is basically, they're not boyfriend and girlfriend, but they kind of fancy each other. I think she's in love with him, and he kind of you know, keeps an eye out for her. And we do follow the entire class on their kind of journey across this mountain, killing each other off in disgusting ways, in creative ways. They form little cliques. Some of them try and get revenge on bullies. Some of them try and get revenge on girls that, you know, didn't fancy them. Some of them commit suicide because they just find it a completely hopeless situation, fair enough. And, you know, we just kind of see what would happen if you just threw a bunch of kids in this situation where it was, you know, fight or flight. It's the survival instinct. And I was about 13 when this came out. So I really related to it because, you know, it's like I was going to school, I was in secondary school, and I think everyone who watches it can remember from their school days at least one of these characters they can relate to, you know, whether or not they were the geek, whether or not they were a bitch, they were like the popular slutty girl, whether or not they were the jock. There's one of all of them in here, and they kind of all have a different reaction to this. There's also a kid that signed up specifically to go in there and kill other people just because they love it and they're sick. And then we also have a previous survivor who is in the mix too, and no one really knows who he is for a little while. And then a couple of the other students befriend him, and you get a bit of backstory. You also follow their teacher, Takeshi Kitano, who is awesome! And he is so brutal because he's so nonchalant about everything, you know. At the very beginning, when they've been taken and drugged and taken off to this mountain, they're in this kind of sort of faux classroom, and they have a little TV and a little video introduction about what's going to happen to them, you know. This is how long you've got. You've got 3 days before all the collars that they were fitted with explode and kill them, which is why they have to kill each other, because if they don't and there's not just one person left, they all die. And it's just, he's sitting there clapping along with the video like, yeah, everyone gets psyched up, this is great, you're all going to go off and you're all going to kill each other. It's so brutal, it's just messed up. And, you know, they're all kind of freaking out, and he makes his point very clear very early on that he will kill anyone who, you know, doesn't want to participate. So yeah, I mean, that all happens pretty quickly in the movie, and then the rest of the movie is just following each little group as they kind of branch off from each other. They sort of spread out across the mountain, and you know, they all have different reactions to it. There's a lot of blood in this. There's some gore, but it's just mainly a load of spraying blood, and it's awesome. It's kind of a bittersweet ending as well. I'm not going to mention the ending, but it is bittersweet. There is a sequel, so it's not really hard for you to kind of find out what happened at the end if you look at the sequel, because that gives away the ending of the first one straight away just from the synopsis. But yeah, I would advise you to, if you've not seen it, don't look at the sequel. Go watch the first one first and then watch the sequel, which is not as good, but I will be doing a review on it maybe next week. I will definitely be doing a review of Battle Royale 2, The Requiem. Little side note, they did release a limited edition. Arrow released a limited edition in the UK. I think it was like 5,000 copies. There was 10,000 copies of the sequel. I believe it might be out of print now. I think Arrow are still selling it, but they're selling it in their out of print section. I swear Battle Royale's the only freaking Asian horror they sell on their website. They're totally up for the French. They really are. It's all the French. Asian horror don't get a look in on Arrow. They also released a jam-packed with awesome extras DVD limited edition in America. Anchor Bay Entertainment released it. I swear they release everything, Anchor. Oh my god, I love Anchor Bay. They just release all the good stuff. Yeah, so there is like a region free version. I'm pretty sure that that's the region free version. It could be the Arrow version, but there is one that's limited edition Blu-ray, and I'm pretty sure it's the American one, and it's region free, both of them, and that's great. I mean, that's a wonderful little release, and they released that last year. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the end of this review now. I've been going on for 7 minutes already. Tune in next week for another Tartan Tuesday, week 4. Probably going to be Battle Royale 2, I'm not going to lie, but we'll see. Bye.